Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Mark Pazensky from Tried It For You, and we're back in my backyard again. Okay, so something that we've been discussing this past week in my private Facebook group is fire extinguishers. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Mark Pazensky from Tried It For You, and we're back in my backyard again. Okay, so something that we've been discussing this past week in my private Facebook group is fire extinguishers. So if you want to learn some more about what we're talking about in the private Facebook group, there's a link down below that you can get the personal invite to the group itself. Also, I'd like to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification button or bell so that you can get the latest and greatest of my videos, and leave a comment about this video. I really appreciate getting any kind of feedback on any of my videos that you see. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so like I said, we've been talking about fire extinguishers. I've done lots of videos on fire starters, but one of the most important things that you should know about starting a fire is how to put it out. There are more fires that happen throughout this country, and a lot of them can be prevented if we have the right tools in our toolbox. And when I say in our toolbox, inside of our home. But it's not only about having the right tools, but it's also about knowing how to use those tools. So today we're going to go through and I'm going to show you how to inspect your fire extinguisher and make sure that it's in proper working order, and the things that you should look for on a monthly basis to make sure that your fire extinguisher is going to work the way it's supposed to when you need it to work. Okay, so now what you're going to have inside of your home is not going to be what I'm going to show you here. This is what you'll find in most industrial buildings, office buildings, whatnot. Okay, this is what they call a 20-pound multi-purpose fire extinguisher, A, B, and C. So, and it'll tell you right on there. If you can tell right here, get this a little bit closer. Okay, right down here, it'll tell you A, B, C. Anything that's considered that creates an ash, things that burn, leaves an ash behind, paper, wood, things of that nature. Those are considered alpha fires. Gasolines, liquids, oils, paints, those are B type fires. And you got C fires, which are electrical fires. Now, electrical fire is what generally is the electrical fire is if you've got something plugged into your wall and the circuit's overloaded, but it doesn't trip. Okay, it starts a fire. As long as there's electricity flowing, it will continue to feed the fire. Once you remove the electricity from it and it's still burning, well, now it falls into the other categories of A and B. But until you remove that electricity, you want to, it's considered a C fire. Now, one of the things about electrical fires is you don't want to use water to put out an electrical fire. Okay? That creates electrocution. That's why we don't bathe with our hair dryers. But you should think, I mean, some people want to take those warning symbols off of some of that stuff and let things kind of sort itself out. Well, we're not going to go there. Anyways. All right, so, but for visual representation on a fire extinguisher, this one here is much bigger. Okay, it'll be a lot easier to see the things that I'm going to show you on this. So these are normally hung up on the wall so that they're in a place where you can see them. We, in my industry, I have people that check these out every month. Okay, they inspect it for all the things that's supposed to be on here, and then on an annual basis we have a company that comes in and goes through the whole inspection on it, make sure that the cylinder is still good, hydrostatic testing on this thing is still good. If it needs to be recharged, they recharge them at the same time. Okay, but for our purposes here, we're going to do a monthly inspection on it. Now, obviously you can see it. When you get your fire extinguisher, when you pull your fire extinguisher out, okay, what you want to look at, the very first thing you want to see on here is look at this gauge. Okay, this gauge on it here has got a green area. Okay, it's got a section, if the arrow's in one side of it, it's either overcharged or it's undercharged. Now, what you're looking for here, some of the stuff out of the way, right here is what you're looking for, is that arrow is in the green. That means it's charged and it's ready to go. Now, depending on the temperature outside, the pressure will build up and the needle will move into the overcharged area. You have to take that with a little grain of salt, okay? Use your best judgment on that. Doesn't mean it's a bad fire extinguisher. It just means that the pressure inside of it's kind of built up. It's the same thing that happens in your tires. Hope you're done. Anyways, doesn't make it a bad fire extinguisher. Now, if you go the other way, it's undercharged. Now, if it's too far undercharged, then more than likely it has been discharged at some point, or the valve has leaked by. The way to tell if it's leaked by is on the hose. If you tap it and you get some chemical powder out of it, then more than likely it's leaked by, then you got a bad fire extinguisher. If that doesn't happen, then more than likely it's still a good fire extinguisher and can be used. Typically you want to check these when it's the coolest part of the day, so that you can make sure that that needle is within the correct range. The other part of it you got is the support handle. This support handle allows you to carry the fire extinguisher without discharging it. Okay, so this is, you can pick it up from this point here. As long as you're picking it up from that point there, it's not going to discharge the fire extinguisher. The actual discharging mechanism is right here, this part of the fire extinguisher handle. So when you grab hold of this thing and you're holding it from this point here, and then you push down on it, that is what actually discharges the chemical within the fire extinguisher. Now, the most important thing about this is to prevent it from discharging prematurely is this pin. See this pin right here? This pin has got to be inserted. It goes all the way through, and that's what actually keeps this valve or this fire extinguisher from being discharged prematurely. The other thing that you're looking for is this seal, this yellow seal on here. Okay, it's a breakaway seal, so when you pull this pin, you pull it out hard. Okay, it breaks that seal, and you remove that pin. Now this fire extinguisher is armed, so to speak. It's always charged, it's always ready, but as soon as you pull this pin out of there, now there's nothing preventing you from pushing this down and discharging the fire extinguisher. So when you're looking at your fire extinguisher on a monthly basis, these are the things that you want to look for. The needle, make sure it's in the green, your pin is installed, and your seal is still intact. The other thing you want to look at is your hose. Okay, do not look down the barrel of the hose, okay, because of it. It's like looking down the barrel of a gun. You never point it at yourself. You only point it at the intended target. Your hose should be very pliable and flexible, okay? Should not have any kinks in it whatsoever. Tap the end of it. Make sure there's nothing in there. Little mud daubers like to get up inside there and create a nest, okay? You discharge this thing, they're going to go blown right out of there, but you don't want things to get up inside of there. Okay, Make sure you've got the right fire extinguisher for what you're using it for. Like I said, this one here is a multi-purpose, good for alpha fires, Bravo fires, Charlie fires, ABC. Okay, that's your typical fire extinguisher that you can find just about anywhere that sells industrial or home goods stuff. Okay, so like the ones that you can get at Home Depot, Lowe's, hardware stores, Walmart will have fire extinguishers in them. They won't have these. Okay, they'll have a different type. Okay, and I'll show you that here in a second. Excuse me. Now, all the fire extinguishers, doesn't matter what you buy, okay, is going to have instructions on how to use the fire extinguisher. Okay, it'll give you the instructions right on there. Now, the things that you need to understand or look for or remember, I should say, is pass. P-A-S-S. Pass means pull. The P on pass means pull. Pull the pin, okay? A, you're going to aim it. Aim it. You're going to squeeze, okay? When the S is squeeze, and then you're going to sweep, okay? So pull the pin, aim it, squeeze, and sweep. Sweep back and forth. And you want to aim at the base of the fire. Not on top of the fire, not to the side of the fire, at the base of it. That's where it's hottest. That's where you're trying to disrupt the heat and the flames. Do that, thing will go up very quickly. Okay, so again, you're going to use P, pass. A, aim. S, squeeze. S, sweep. That's your acronym, pass. Now, like I said, this is not the typical one that you're going to have inside of your home. Now, I'm going to set this over to the side. That is the typical fire extinguisher you're going to get for your home. Okay, you can, like I said, you can get this at Lowe's, Home Depot, True Value hardware stores, Walmart, Target. They'll have fire extinguishers there. This is a dual pack. Okay, and this is the type of fire extinguisher that you're going to have. Okay, it's not very big. Okay, but it has all the same components that you're going to find in a fire extinguisher. Here's your gauge. Okay, it's in the green. That's what we're looking for. Here's your pen. This is your pen, and it's got a breakaway seal on that. Okay, this is your holding arm, your support arm, so that you can hold on to it. And then this is your discharge valve or trigger. Now, the difference between this one here is that it does not have a hose. Okay, don't need it. All you need to do is, but the use of this is still the same. Okay, you'll pull the pin. You're going to aim the nozzle. You're going to squeeze the trigger, and then you're going to sweep back and forth. Okay. Now, again, this is for an ABC fire. It says right on there. Okay, A, B, C. A is for ashes. B is for liquids, paints, gases, or gasolines, oils, that type of nature. And C being electrical. Now, catch my breath here a little bit. Now, there are other types of fires. You've got D fires, okay? Those are fires that are made by metal. Magnesium is considered a D-type fire when it's burning. Magnesium burns very hot, very fast, okay? The only way to put that kind of fire out is to throw sand on top of it and remove all the oxygen. As long as there's magnesium, it will continue to burn. Generally don't have that kind of stuff inside of our homes. You have K-type fires, which are oils, grease, cooking oils, stuff like that. Those are are similar to the B type fires. Okay. But they had their own separate classification. This is just something that's just come out here in the last, I guess, 15, 20 years, if I recollect correctly. But they had their own classification. But you can still use a B type fire extinguisher inside of your kitchen. Okay. Let's see, what else? Again, the instructions are right on here. Okay, this one here comes with a place to mount your fire extinguisher up on your wall or up inside your kitchen cabinet. Okay, the inspections are all still the same. Okay, you're going to make sure that your gauge is in the green, your lever or the gauge is in the green. You got the pin, you've got the seal on it. Okay, you also want to make sure that you don't have a lot of corrosion on this thing. Okay. If you've got a highly corroded fire extinguisher, then more than likely you probably should invest in another one. This dual pack here was 20 bucks. Okay, they're not that expensive. Okay, now during some of my fire training that I had during the military and the industries that I worked at, they tell you if you cannot put the fire out with a single fire extinguisher, get out. Leave it alone. Call the fire department. You should call the fire department regardless. It doesn't matter what type of fire you've got. You should call the fire department anyways, okay? But if you can't put it out with a single one, don't go get another one. Don't use water, okay? Because it depends on what's going on. You may not know, okay? You don't want to make things worse. So if you can't do it with one, call the fire department. Get yourself, get your family, get your pets out of the house. Let the fire department deal with it. Don't be a hero. Your stuff is stuff. That stuff can be replaced. You can't, and your pets can't be replaced. Okay, so get out. Excuse me a second. So get out. Let the fire department take care of it all. Now, like I said, this came with a dual pack. Okay. This one here is specifically for B's and C's. Okay. It tells you right on there. B and C. Okay. Again, a B type fire is gasolines, oils, paints, that type of liquids. Okay. Fires. Some things that you find in your kitchen, oils, greases, okay, can be used with this. And it's for electrical fires, C as well. Now this one here is fairly unique. So this cover sits up on the wall just like it is, okay? And this is your mounting for the wall itself. It comes with a check on top of it. You push this button, and as long as the green button pops back out, then your fire extinguisher is still good. Okay, you still need to check this thing. Okay, so it comes off. So that would still be hanging on the wall. Now the difference between this one here and this one here is this doesn't have, this one does not have a gauge on there. Okay, but it does have this check. So when you push this down and it pops up, you're good to go. If you push it down and it stays down, it's a bad fire extinguisher. Get rid of it. Okay. Has a breakaway seal on it, so nothing changes here. This is, you pull this out of here, and this gray part of it, that's your trigger for discharging the fire extinguisher. Still hold it here. Same thing here. You're going to aim it and back and forth, okay? And that's this type of fire extinguisher. So at the end of the day, everybody should have a fire extinguisher in their kitchen, inside of their home, at least one, if not a couple of them. Okay, they must be checked on a regular basis, at least monthly, to make sure that these things are going to be there for you when you absolutely need them. Now, the ideal situation is that you have them, but you don't need them. But it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. So I'm sure you've heard that before. So again, these here, essential for maintaining your home, keeping your family, yourself safe, okay? Especially during emergencies, when if you have some kind of natural disaster, people that are in Tornado Alley, people during hurricane, I mean, you have all that stuff going on, there's still fires that happen. So you still should have something like this, okay? Your vehicle, you should have a fire extinguisher inside of your vehicle. You never know when you're going to need it. My wife carries one, I carry one, my girls carry one in their vehicles, okay? Just in case. You may not need it for yourself, but you may come upon somebody who may need your help, and you can save somebody, all right? So, again, pick these up, 20 bucks for this pack. It might have been $25 for this dual pack, but you can buy just this, and they come in dual packs as well, or you can get this as a dual pack, okay? It's very cheap insurance policy for your home. So the next thing we need to do is actually show you how to use this thing, and that'll be in my next video. We'll actually pull the pin, we'll actually aim it, we'll squeeze the trigger, and we will sweep to put out the fire, so you can see the best effective ways to do that. All right, so until next time, again, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down there as well, and let me know what you think about this video or any of the other videos that I put out. So until the next time, I hope I see you on the outside. Take care, everybody.